What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Wrestling Junkies Podcast and Mr. Cincinnati. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad. We are going remote here, opposite days.
I know. With a little switcheroo. I love it. Hello, Maisie. But yes, Maisie's behind the camera. She will not come on camera, though.
The gimmick is gimmicking today, huh?
The gimmick is real. I keep telling everybody, it's not a, if this is your first time watching, it's not a gimmick. It's a way of life. Podcast dad does have 2 children. So.
And I don't. So welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, you can give us a follow on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod. You can like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Junkies Pod. But most importantly, please do us a huge favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are 29 subscribers away from 500. We need your help to get there. Podcast dad, tell our friends out there what they should do.
One person, if you like what we're doing here, even with me on the couch, even with Eric, back in his regular domain, but no matter where we are, we're going to have a great time, and we want you guys to join us with that. We love wrestling. We love having fun with wrestling. We have a ton to talk about tonight because NXT was insane, but I'm excited. Tell one person so you can join the conversation. Jump in the comments. Have fun.
Yeah, be like Fernando. Fernando is always in the comments. It's good to have you back tonight, my friend. Also, shout out to our friends at the Main Event Wrestling Network. You can find them at mainevent_net on all social media platforms. If you've not had a chance to check it out, we did ourselves a 24-hour live stream last Friday going into Saturday, talking basically everything related to wrestling that you could possibly think of. So if you've got some time and want to check that out, absolutely do. And shout out to our sponsor at Gorilla Press Apparel. Use promo code WJP2024 to get you 25% off site-wide, including this snazzy hat coming soon. Podcast dad loves his hats. And shout out to Will for throwing those in his little goodie box that he sent down to Cincinnati. Podcast dad, I think that's enough of the plugs here. It's time to get to the nitty-gritty of the episode. NXT. Okay, some choices were made. Some choices were made here.
Okay is definitely a word. Man, that's I don't want to call it hot shot booking, but that's some crazy booking if I've ever seen anything.
There is a lot to unpack here. Let's start with the biggest one. Jacy Jayne is the new NXT Women's Champion, taking the title off of Stephanie Vaquer, who so valiantly defended it just 3 days ago against Jordynne Grace, the Juggernaut. Podcast dad, I did not watch this live. I happened to only scroll TikTok this morning and see that this happened because I usually have to wait to watch the show, and I lost. This was the reaction.
Yeah, I woke up to it. I woke up to the group chat about, hey, Stephanie just lost. I'm like, wait, what? Like, and I had the same reaction. Like, Jacy actually won? No, you're kidding. You're kidding. Like,
we wrote it off. We kind of saw this as a slam dunk defense and kind of setting up whatever the next long term program might be. But no, Papa HB Shizzle pulled the trigger. I mean, this is somebody that survived NXT 2.0, and now she's at the top of the mountain right now. Safe to say that neither one of us expected this.
For how long? What do you think? This is gonna be a week?
I'm not gonna say a week, but it's I wouldn't get used to those side plays.
Is Stephanie getting it back? Like, what do you think is what happened?
It sounds like the current plan is that Stephanie is going to Raw and Jordynne is going to SmackDown. So it does seem like this is kind of the official reset of all these megastars that they were slowly trying to work into the fold. The NXT run, it appears to be over right now. So you're losing, what some people would consider kind of the horsewomen of this generation of Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne, Jordynne Grace now, despite having a limited run in WWE. A lot of it is because of the TNA related WWE work and what she brings to the table that people consider her to be a horsewoman. But yeah, they're all main roster now. So, I mean, at this point, it kind of makes sense. Again, she's
Does it though?
She's been there through some of the darkest moments here.
But if you were going to drop it, why wouldn't you drop it to Jordan Grace?
I don't know.
Also, Jada Parker. Yeah, that's another. I mean, Jada Parker is another option that you could easily put it on.
Yeah, she's also been acting up on the internet as of late. So,
well, don't we all? But I just JC Jane's an odd choice. I don't know. Just, I guess she's been a good soldier, and this is kind of her reward for being a good soldier, quote unquote. Like you said, been through the NXT 2.0 era, and then came in on the other side, and she's still here. So,
yeah, and this is most surprising because I have always looked at Fatal Influence to be the vehicle for Fallon Henley to eventually spin off and have a singles run of some capacity, because JC Jane has been a tag team specialist for the majority of her career, that it just kind of seems natural to put her back into that supporting role in a trio, because that's where she excelled with Toxic Attraction. And so to see, yes, Fallon did have a run with the North American title. It was a good one. It's surprising that JC, who really hasn't done much to make waves in either one of those divisions, is now on top of the mountain.
Yeah, and then sorry about that. We had a bit of a venue change, but I'm still here.
That's okay.
Still gonna do it on the phone. A little background in the back, but yeah, no, it's yeah, like that's another one. Like Fallon Henley could have done this too, and it would have. I don't know if it would have been as shocking as it was, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, I'm hoping they didn't do this just to pop something. Like that's like way too much of hot shot booking. But I don't know. Like it's got the world talking. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason we're talking about it right now. There's a reason that the internet kind of exploded last night. I mean, NXT last couple of days has done what? Trick Williams is the TNA champion.
Mm-hmm.
JC Jane is the NXT Women's Champion. You got a new North American champion with Ricky Saints losing out of nowhere when we all thought Ethan Page was going to be the one going to the main roster. Like,
split up one of the most over factions in Metaphor, and then release somebody that could have had a lot of potential in the tag team division.
Fraxium, we thought was never going to lose, lost to Hank and Tank. So NXT's doing a little bit of a shuffle. And
well, to be fair, I kind of know Nostradamus the Hank and Tank one. That's what I'm saying. But is who next?
Is Obafemi next?
He could be. I mean, LFG, they want this concept to work. We've seen them try the game show reality wrestling competition before, but this is head and shoulders the best presentation of that we've seen. We've got Bully Ray, Taker, Booker T, soon to be Michelle McCool. Like, you have all these Hall of Famers involved in it. They want this to succeed. TKO wants this to succeed. So if they think that they have something, much like they did with Obafemi, who won his title in 15 or 20 televised matches, like I see no problem with them doing the same thing now.
Pretty quickly. I mean, really, really quickly. But yeah, I don't know. Like, NXT's been, if you're a title holder, like, don't get used to it. Like, we've been conditioned to these long reigns, and it doesn't seem like that's going to be a thing in NXT at least. But dude, NXT was fascinating, man. The JC Jane thing is still,
yeah.
Is that, and call me a prisoner of the moment, but is that the biggest upset in NXT history? That's got to be up there, right?
It's definitely up there.
I can't think of one off the top of my head where I'm like, oh.
Honestly, I think Mandy winning her title and going on that run that she did, that was a massive upset.
Who did she beat, though? Do we remember who she beat?
Fact checker, if you're watching, that's one for you, bud.
Like, I'm trying to rack my brain. Like, who did she beat? Was it Roxanne?
I don't know. But yeah, if he's still in the chats, I'll give him a couple of seconds to fire up the Google machine. But yeah, this is a massive upset here. One that is not, I mean, the Ricky Saints Ethan Page match, that one doesn't surprise me at all. This had been kind of the blood feud that they had been building. maybe this is Saints not being long for the roster either. I mean, I don't think that there was really much that he needed from a seasoning standpoint to really go up to the main roster, especially when his biggest advocate is the face of the company. That, fun NXT run gets him introduced to a WWE audience. The presentation is there. We've known that he's charismatic as hell. We know that he can go. Like,
who's the face of the company? What do you mean? You saying the wrong?
Cody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I forget. Or Edge called him the dollar store rocker or whatever. Yeah, like, but in the same vein, like, what more seasoning does Ethan Page need?
Not much. That's why I would say that's kind of why we're getting the Fatal 4-Way at Worlds Collide. Is, if you ask me, Ethan Page is that vehicle to get that title on Javon Evans.
Or Ray Phoenix.
I could see either Ethan Page or Laredo Kid taking the pin in that match next weekend. Massive opportunity for those two. We know that Javon Evans is ready. We know that he is capable of being that guy. This is another step closer to that. And where did it all begin for him?
Action.
Saint City Invitational tickets on sale now.
As we continue to talk about that, are we a little concerned with Ray Phoenix? Are we concerned yet? I mean, he lost his Money in the Bank qualifier. Penta did not.
No.
He's going to NXT for Worlds Collide. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess he's going to be on the card, which is good. But
I mean, he's being positioned, as a marquee star for WWE and AAA. Like,
I don't know. I think they have such a big megastar and a single star in Penta that I would hold them being tag team for a very long time. And I would be afraid that Phoenix kind of gets the Dragon Lee treatment.
I don't see that happening. And I mean, just because he's not getting, just because his career is not running specifically point for point parallel to his brother, we're still within the first 6 months of them being in the company. I'm not going to panic yet. If we're having the same conversation by the end of the year, then sure, I'm probably going to have something to say about it. But and let's also point out that Ray Phoenix was not meant to be on WrestleMania and got a WrestleMania marquee moment and a WrestleMania payday. Just because he didn't qualify for Money in the Bank I'm not going to go sounding the alarms for that when he's only been in the company 3 or 4 months. Like that's where I pull at Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. Stop talking about Aaron Rodgers on our show. That's way too many times in the past 6 months you've pulled Aaron Rodgers.
I'm just saying, relax. That's all I'm saying.
Telling you to relax.
Jesus.
Aaron Rodgers references.
Fine, calm your tits. Is that better?
This is a family show. You're lucky I'm not down there with my child still.
Calm your boobies. Is that better?
No. We don't even. We shouldn't know what those are yet.
Well,
I don't know. It's just, the comparison between the two. It's just like Penta is clearly a bigger star. So, the last couple weeks booking wise for Ray Phoenix, I'm like, okay, like, let's see. Maybe he would benefit from going to NXT for a while. I know they didn't want to go to NXT, but maybe he would benefit, kind of be the big fish in that small pond again and kind of establish himself with the crowd a little bit more. It should be a fun 4-way. I will say that. Like, that should be a match of the night, match of the year candidate, because that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that show is going to be a lot of fun. Like, I'm very much excited for that show.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely going to be a highlight of the summer for sure. Penta's a better character. Yeah, there's a lot more there as far as the charisma. I mean, you've said it countless times on our show that it's just he oozes it, especially once he gets that walk going, and just something about it just works. That's not to say that Ray Phoenix is not talented. I mean, when we talked about their battles with the Young Bucks, I said several times, Ray Phoenix, Nick Jackson are two of the most underrated wrestlers on the planet for what they can do in the ring. eventually that's going to catch on. I'm not worried about Rey Fenix just because it does not look spot for spot the way that his brother's career does. I'm not going to panic. Kane and Taker's careers did not look the same. Matt and Jeff's careers did not look the same. Long term, they both all of them turned out very well.
What percentage do you put on Penta winning the Money in the Bank?
So we've got Rollins, LA Knight, and Penta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Based on just the three that are announced, I'm going to put Rollins odds at 0 because he's not going to need the briefcase in order to regain the world title. He doesn't need it. I don't think that it benefits him to do that. That's just my prediction is that Seth Rollins, yes, he's in the match. He ain't winning it. It's still a 50-50 shot between LA Knight and Penta. These are both guys that would have amazing opportunities with it, especially if the world title, WWE title moves over to Raw and Big Gold goes to SmackDown. Yeah, opportunities will.
You know what you did. You know exactly what you did, and you did it out of spite. So don't give me the big sigh as you're disappointed in me. I'm disappointed in you.
Oh yeah, and Solo's also in the match too. No, Solo ain't winning the briefcase.
Again, maybe.
Here's hoping he qualifies, Fernando.
Yeah, I was gonna say Melo's gotta qualify first. Did he not? Oh yeah, Solo qualified over
him.
Yeah. Yeah. God. Fact checker. Who did Mandy Rose beat? Come on, help me out.
Yeah, he got one fact, but not the one that required a quick little Wikipedia search. We appreciate your efforts. Thank you very much. Can we talk about Miles Bourne possibly splitting away and that really kind of being cemented now? The rounds match, and Miles gets to fly free if he wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think I picked this up on his entrance at Battleground when Dempsey was just like, no, we're good. Like, he's obviously bigger than the group now.
Yeah,
and that's fine. AEW, excuse me. NXT needs single stars again. You're losing a lot of people, so what better time to do it than right now? Especially if there's this mass call up that's about to happen. Like, don't know what's going to happen. You're going to need somebody.
Yeah. Those lean times are always interesting in NXT before those call-ups happen.
But they always seem to work. You know,
they do.
Like we were concerned when we lost Ilya, Mello. We were concerned then. We were concerned when we lost Asuka. We were concerned when we lost the Undisputed Era. They just kept going. Like they know what they're doing with that system. So I'm not as concerned. It's always, like you said, fascinating to see.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, who steps up? Like it's opportunities there. Step up.
I mean, one guy who you have to think is going to be kind of clear priority is Sean Legacy. I don't see how he's not first ID prospect to get him win on NXT. Amazing match with Javon Evans. Or chemistry's off the charts. Like, there is no reason not to, like, he doesn't really, and we've seen it in person. There's not a whole lot of seasoning that he needs to be ready for NXT right now to place him kind of in that next crop of the new faces to run this kind of next chapter of it.
I mean, it's clear that they like him. I mean,
yeah,
already on NXT television, was in that battle royal. Like, yeah, I can see it. You can also see somebody from TNA. Like, we see Trick Williams with the TNA World Champion.
Yeah,
who's to say that a TNA, wrestler is not going to go win the NXT title? Like, you can't not say that anymore now that we've seen the switch. So, speaking of that, Trick has to defend that TNA championship.
Yes, he does.
Against Santana.
I'm so fucking. NXT is a good look for Mike Santana.
It is.
I hear a butt coming.
The working relationship, though, you don't want to go. You don't want to go too crazy. You want to make sure TNA is still getting what they need. But yes, Mike Santana does look good in NXT. It looks like a fit. I don't know what that contract looks like. It's still a little weird, with that, because like, and Indy Hartwell's in NXT now, or NXT TNA now.
Yeah,
what does that mean for NXT? Like, so she show back up. Nick Nemeth is still in TNA. Yeah. Does he eventually?
Also, shout out to our friends at Hitting the Turnbuckle. They just did an interview with Nick and Ryan Nemeth. You guys should go check that out on their YouTube channel. Sure. I mean, we have seen Ash by Elegance come back. I mean, it was exactly once, but it happens, you know. And it sounds like in Indy's case, at least kind of what she's intimated in interviews, is that there very much has been the door left open for her specifically, as far as keeping, you know, possibly coming back together down the road. So her showing up in TNA, especially kind of now that we're looking at who steps up to challenge JC Jane, like we're gonna need some established names for her to work off of. This would be a good time to elevate Kalani Jordan. She's got this mean streak that it seems is, you know, she's ready to snap. Zarya, we know, it's just a matter of time before she splits Soul Ruka in half.
He'll be a main contender, so Ruka will. Yeah, big time. Like I said, they know what they're doing. They'll get it back to be in a good spot. And just this influx of TNA and now AAA, it's going to be. They have a lot more cards to play with this time around, like this mass exodus. So we may see more of that cross-brand, cross-promotion stuff happening. And that's exciting because we've never seen it in WWE like this before. So what better way to do it than in NXT, where you have young prospects that you think could be future stars, tearing it up with established, we'll call them veterans in other promotions, and see what they're really made of. And maybe those established veterans can come back. I don't know. It's a different time. It's an exciting time. We will talk about something towards the end of the show that made the news, but it's an interesting time in wrestling. We'll say that.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Podcast ad. Now that NXT is in the books, it's time to turn our attention to Dynamite. We are on the road to All In, so I've got the preview here. And first up, we've got a no DQ tag match: Anna Jay and Harley Cameron taking on Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Let's fucking go. I don't know. I'm all in on the Megan Bayne push.
Yeah, no, and we all should be. Megan Bayne's going to be a star. Hopefully, Tony is learning from past mistakes. I'll say that. When you make big time stars, lock them up, a la Stephanie, a la Mariah, like lock them up. Like, I don't know what that contract is with Megan Bayne, but like offer her an extension.
Yeah. Well, actually, why have we not also thought about the fact that Mariah May hasn't been on AEW TV since Revolution, and that it sounds like she is not coming back to AEW? So that's also a name to potentially throw out just to as a challenger for JC. That's all I wanted to say there.
Oh yeah, no, big time.
But we've also got a mixed trios match: Mark Briscoe, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Willow Nightingale versus Mox, Gabe Kidd, and Marina Shafir. Coming off of Anarchy in the Arena. This is just a fun little fight.
Yeah, it's AEW booking. That's AEW booking at its finest. It's going to be a fun match, and there will be some story involved, yes, but at the end of the day, they're going to have a fun match.
Yeah. TNT Championship is on the line. Adam Cole, Bebe, taking on the Protostar Kyle Fletcher. I think it's time. Let's pull that trigger. Let's pull the trigger.
That's not happening tonight.
All right. Well,
that's not happening tonight. It's leading to the Don Callis family taking on whatever the era is now.
The Paragon, and I hope that's not the case.
That is 100% the case. 100%.
Okay, I didn't know you had a spot in the writer's room.
How long have you been watching wrestling?
Long enough.
How long?
Long enough.
You know I'm right. That's why you won't look at the damn camera.
I've been watching wrestling for 25 years. I just think, based on what we've seen of Kyle Fletcher over the last 18 months, let's go. I
disagree with you, but this is a setup for the faction wars. Come on. Don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up, because then
they're already up. They're already up. I'm not like it's not the end of the world if he doesn't win. I'm just saying that's my prediction. No, because in addition to an international championship qualifier between Josh Alexander and Brody King, we've got Hangman Page speaking live, and the first face-off, I believe, between Mercedes and Tony Storm.
Wait, what? The international
AEW International Championship qualifier between Josh Alexander and Brody King. We also have. What's that?
Is this like a tournament?
No, the winner advances to a fatal four-way match of Fyter Fest. So next week against Kenny, and 2 more challengers to be determined on Collision this Saturday.
Gotcha. Okay, I missed that whole announcement. Okay, so I was like, isn't Omega and Okada happening? Or I guess that hasn't been technically announced yet.
No, correct.
Gotcha.
I would imagine the segment between Mercedes and Tony Storm is your show closer.
It should be. I think it should be. I have a feeling that mixed tag will be, but
I can see that opening the show.
They need to hype this Mercedes Tony thing up, and they need to put some doubt in the "Hey, Mercedes is going to win" thing. Like, I think everybody and their mom thinks Mercedes is going to win. Like,
yeah,
you need to put some doubt in there for me. I'm interested to see how Tony and Mercedes characters like interact with each other.
Yeah, it's
way totally different characters.
It is. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch, though.
Like, more than anything, I think Tony Storm's done with this character before. So,
and that's you know what? Somehow I don't know. She always she never ceases to amaze us, and I think we've said this before is that she's playing this golden age of Hollywood style gimmick. Like, there's no shortage of movies that she can draw inspiration from to play opposite a character like Mercedes Moné. Like this is, I mean, this is like, we're talking about whether it be kind of a golden age thing. Remember Ocean's 12? Did you ever see any of those movies?
Never seen any of them.
Oh, you gotta watch them. They're great. There's that whole thing in Ocean's 12 where Julia Roberts' character plays Julia Roberts as a part of the heist. Tony Storm had to play Tony Storm as a redemption act. Like, she will be fine. She will be fine.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying I think it's gonna be interesting to see. Like, I don't think they're
gonna be entertaining as hell.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I'm just fascinated to see how she does it because she does it every time. This is probably, for lack of a better term, like her toughest role yet. So I caught myself. Sorry, folks. Real quick, as we're winding down,
do
you want to talk about the news today about John Laurinaitis?
What's that?
About John
Laurinaitis? I don't see why anybody is surprised.
So, as and I'm going to ask you to put your lawyer hat on.
Okay.
What does this mean for the trial?
Essentially what it means, basically what we're talking about for those that aren't in the know, Janelle Grant amended her lawsuit. It sounds like they have come to an agreement with John Laurinaitis and his legal team that if he is removed as a party to the lawsuit involving Vince McMahon, that he will cooperate with anything needed for the discovery / investigation of her civil claim to go forward. So essentially, this is kind of the civil equivalent of agreeing to cooperate. That's kind of what this is here. And I mean, this is a guy who, if you're a wrestling fan, know that he notoriously kissed Vince McMahon's ass for the better part of 25 years. Yeah. If there is anybody that you want as a key witness going up against Vince McMahon, it's John Laurinaitis. So, which again, this doesn't surprise me. Vince McMahon is a billionaire. John Laurinaitis is not. So I am sure that this lawsuit has cost him a lot of money since it was first filed in 2022. So yeah, this was probably, because again, I don't represent any of them. I'm not making any, this is just kind of putting the hat on and speculating that, this has probably gotten costly for him to defend. And because he probably has a lot of information that's useful to the plaintiff's case, it sounds like he was able to work out a deal that allows him to avoid civil penalty for it. It's all still fucked and still a piece of shit in my book and a lot of other people's books, but that's kind of what it has boiled down to is what has taken place in this case.
Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees with you on that point. So it's still a civil thing. So we're still not looking at like criminal charges or anything like that, correct?
No, it sounds like DOJ was investigating from last I heard, but it sounds like there is no intention to prosecute. So it sounds like that criminal side has closed, but that doesn't mean that the civil penalties aren't still going to be substantial should he be found liable for everything that he's accused of in the civil case. Yeah. So that's going. I feel like there was something else that we were gonna that I was gonna bring up to you.
I wanted to bring this up on Tuesday's show. I just didn't have a chance.
Sure.
The thing with Las Vegas and WrestleMania, WWE that they can go back there and make the more money than they made the previous year. At what point is there a breaking point, do you think? Like, the market is so large right now. At what point, and they use it in the housing market, like when does that bubble pop for WWE and they go,
as far as being in Vegas?
Well, no, fans just going, I'm not paying that. Like, I don't want to pay that much money. Like, at what point are fans going to, I don't want to say rebel, but just kind of like stand up and go, like, I'm not paying $4,000 for another ticket just to go to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, it really does kind of come down to people eventually have to vote with their wallet. And I would imagine that bubble bursts once they see a direct impact to ticket sales, a number that is like, oh shit, it's going to be hard to avoid or hard to explain why this is happening sort of regression. And quite frankly, I don't know when that is.
Like, do you think as fans, because I know we've talked about it a little bit off screen, like as fans, if they're going to go to Vegas every other year, like,
I'm not fucking doing that.
My chances of now going to WrestleMania dwindle significantly. Like, cause I'm not, I can't, for somebody in my situation, being married, having 2 kids, like, there's no way I can afford that. Like, there's no way that I'm like going to be able to afford a flight, a hotel, 2 nights of WrestleMania, merch, all that food, everything that comes with that, right? So at what point, maybe there isn't. Maybe, this has been going for however many years WrestleMania is at this point. Like, I just think going to Vegas, if they're thinking going to Vegas every other year is going to be the plan, I just think that's going to be like, I think they're going to get backlash. Like, I don't know if that's the best plan. Obviously, I haven't done the market research. They probably have. They made a shit ton of money with Vegas Mania, and I assume of course they did, because it's Vegas, right? But at what point is it going, wrestling fans going, I don't want to go to Vegas. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't know when that will be.
And another interesting caveat to this is I believe that Vegas has seen an economic hit to tourism over the last few months, to where it's not as high as it has been in previous years, to where from their standpoint, a lot of the success that they have had this year was because of WWE, to where at least in their minds, it makes sense to go back after them again, because the number, sounds like the numbers weren't great. I don't remember what they were off the top of my head, so don't quote me. But if they're seeing a positive impact on WWE being in town to an otherwise kind of down year for tourism out there, then it makes sense for them to try to go back. And if it means increasing that site fee that was already hefty in the first place, WWE is not going to say no to it.
No, and you take the fan hat off, you put the business hat on. It makes all the sense in the world for WWE to do that, right? It does.
Yeah.
But as being both educated and being a fan of wrestling, and then being educated in business, like, at the end of the day, you have to appeal to your fans. But on the other hand, they are a publicly traded company that need to appeal to the investors and then the board. So I get both ends of it. I just think it's going to alienate some people. But I say that, and how many fans did they lose because of Saudi Arabia?
Not many.
That's what
I'm bitch about it, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I just think it's an interesting concept. I think it's interesting to see what they're going to do. WrestleMania Las Vegas every other year just sounds like it's going to get old quickly. Just my opinion. I don't know. UFC does stuff in Vegas all the time, so maybe it won't. Maybe Vegas becomes a big wrestling town. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I just think it's
it's
over the next 10 plus years, we're going to have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is because we are so used to the history of pro wrestling has always been it is a traveling circus. So when that circus slows down to one specific town, it loses kind of what has been ingrained in the DNA of the product itself.
And we saw this with SummerSlam because SummerSlam was in Brooklyn 3 years in a row or something crazy, and fans were like, that last year of being in Brooklyn, I think it was their lowest number. It may have also been because of the product at the time, but it's also okay, cool. They're going to the Barclays Center again. Like you said, it's a traveling circus. We like seeing new venues. We like seeing new stages. Like it's new tourism activities. It's interesting. And Fernando, I don't know if TK was the worst thing to happen to WWE. From a fan's perspective, maybe. From a business perspective, it's one of the best things to happen to WWE.
Yeah. And even from the fan perspective, we have been freed from the Vince McMahon booking that made us want to pull our fucking hair out. I mean, at the very least, since the streak was killed. At the very least. There's a lot more examples that we can give before that. But for me, that was kind of the peak of what the fuck am I watching here?
The peak for me was probably that celebrity guest host Raw.
Oh,
what were they doing? There's just so much, right? So I don't know if TK was the worst thing to happen. Dollar and cents wise for fans, maybe. But this is wrestling. Like, we're going to see an ebb and flow. I just think it's fascinating to see, as both a fan and both like a business. Like it's interesting because WWE's going to have to make some choices. And we're going to see what happens. Like, do they sign a contract with Vegas? Like, what does that look like? Or is it just an open bid every year? Like, if it's open bid every year, do other cities come in and just outbid the hell out of Vegas? And can they? So I wanted to bring up the topic because, yes, we are wrestling fans at the end of the day, but this is also just something very fascinating in wrestling that I don't think we've ever seen before. Is we're going to have cities bidding like crazy to get it, and I think they pissed off New Orleans by doing this. So, like, what does that relationship look like? That it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and it's going to be, like I said, over the next 5-10 years, it's going to be fascinating to see.
Yeah. I think that is an appropriate place to leave it tonight. Before we kind of get through our remarks here, I've just gotten the go-ahead that I can announce a guest that we've got coming up for next week. So we have a former AEW Ring of Honor star. You know him as part of the Iron Savages with Jack Jameson. Bear Bronson is going to be joining the show next Monday live at 6:30. Got a lot of questions for him. Newlywed to one of our favorite wrestlers on the indies, Gabby Forza. So fantastic interview. If you got some time, pop by and check that out. That is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you to our sponsor, Gorilla Press Apparel. You can find us on X and TikTok at Junkies Pod, at Wrestling Junkies Pod on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on the road to 500. We need your help to get there. Just tell one person. And yes, Fernando, he absolutely is an awesome guest. So excited for this conversation. But that is going to do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow night with a brand new episode. That is the podcast, Dad. I am Mr. Cincinnati. Thank you so much for joining the Wrestling Junkies Podcast. Until next time, enjoy the grabs.